It's been 20 minutes and now I'm just showing you the glued sections of my feathers. If you notice that your feathers get a little unruly, kind of hinty thing to do is to take a toothbrush and just brush your feathers in the direction that you want them to go, and once it's glued in place it will help line all your feathers up for you so they all run in the correct direction for you. Now we're going to start doing the top section of this stuff. So I have my pieces all lined up here, and I have run my shaping tool down the edge of them so they have a little bit of a curve so that they will curve back toward the row in front of it. If you run your shaping tool down and it gets a little too curvy like this one is, all you have to do is turn it over and just tap it once or twice and it'll take a good portion of that curve out, but it won't mess with your feathering. So now we're going to start putting on the top row of feathers. As soon as I find my there we go. So we're going to start with number 1 because that's where we start. So I'm going to take my little feather and I'm going to put a little bit of silicone at the top and a little bit down the side, and if you get too much just pull it back off. I usually keep a piece of paper up here that I can lay my awl on, and then that way my silicone doesn't get everywhere. Now we're going to take this piece and we're going to make sure that we get the bottom edge of it matched up with where the feather ends on my print. So there's my feather number 1, this little brown line over here. So I'm going to put this on and make sure that it goes far enough that it covers up where my piece overlaps with the piece before it. Okay, so that's number 1. We're going to push it down a little bit at the back and stand up just a little bit on the edge. Now we have piece number 2. I'm going to put a little silicone on the back of this. Make sure I get some all the way to the bottom. I'm going to turn it over. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make sure that this little brown feathered edge right here. I'm going to make sure that it is low enough that it covers up my row below. And I'm going to push it down a little at the back, which is going to make it stand up a little at the front. If you don't get the amount of height that you want, you can stick your tweezers on and push it up a little bit. We just want to make sure that we're overlapping the row below it. Now I'm going to take a little bit of silicone for number 3. Because these were cut out 2 by 2, I have feather number 3 and number 4 here together. So for me, I went ahead and feathered it all the way to the end, because that way if it shows, it's a feathered section. Now I'm going to put number 3 where it goes. Now I can see where this comes in right there. See, I can see the little bit of yellow edge right here, right there, oops, right there, which is this little yellow edge here. So I'm going to put that over there, make sure that it comes far enough to cover up where this feather belongs. I'll push it down a little bit on the bottom. When we cut the wing out, this yellow part here is this yellow part that's on the top of the neck collar on the bird. So that's going to slide back up underneath there. And I'm going to put piece number 4 on. And make sure it gets a little bit of roundness to it. Make sure you keep the silicone off of the feather parts of your feather. Okay, so here's number 4. So I'm going to match that up right there. I'm going to push it down in the back. Make sure that I'm covering the edge here where the two pieces come together. You get silicone on your fingers, on your tweezers. Keep a piece of paper towel handy so you can correct that. Now we're going to do piece number 5. I've already made sure they have a little bit of a cut to piece number 5. I'm going to put a little silicone up there and a little bit down here to make sure that it's going to stay in place when I put it down. And I'm going to take my tweezers and turn it over, and then I'm going to match this edge, that's where my edge is, with this edge at the bottom, because that is this little part right here. See the little V cut out goes right there. And I'm going to push this part down, push it over just a little bit so that it's matched up. Now if I look this way, I have a little bit of an edge on my feather. Sometimes I think autofocus is a bigger pain than anything. I'm not sure it's clearer than just letting the camera do its thing. Okay, then now we're going to do the last piece, which is number 6. Now I'm going to match the bottom of the feather, and I'm going to match the outside edge of the feather. So this goes down, and this piece overlaps. And then if you need to adjust any of your feathers, this one looks like it needs to go, oops, not that one. It's easier to get a tweezer on it if you can. Push that over a little bit. There you go. Now, my outside edge is already feathered. So there, let's see if I can get this to clear up a little bit. Okay, so here is my feathered wing piece. Now I can hear you yelling clear back here. And if he's sleeping, you need to turn it down. He was asleep 10 minutes ago. I'm sure he's not asleep now. I could hear you yelling outside. You need to be aware that he's still trying to sleep all the time. Go to bed. Dog.
That goes.
Okay, so this is the end of our feather assembly. And then this is going to slide up underneath the neck collar, and then I'm going to push it down in the back